I'm hoping for Quantum Break today that we get to another one of the TV episodes. I understand the game is kind of hard to pause in the middle of an episode, so if for whatever reason we do run into one and have to go over on time, I will simply debit Ludefex's time and we'll just deal with going over. It's not a big deal. And then next time he'll have a slightly smaller bank to work from.
Mr. Serene's chopper is inbound for...
Hey, Clarice? That you?
This is HQ Alpha. Charlie, I told you to stay off the operations channel.
Sure,
Hello?
Clarice, listen. Hatch told me to
forget
search
about
for
me in
Joyce. I got footage of Burke taking out a guard in A1. Back of Monarch truck was left open. Now I'm checking cameras in A3 and...
I think I opened this last time, but the checkpoint was back here, so
Good
I'll
work.
skip the lore objects in here.
I need to make this right. I'm gonna use the terminal up here and try and dig up what Monarch's really up to.
Oh, yikes, Johan. Sorry about that. That's a bummer. Guess I'll see what else is in here just to get it in my list.
An eyewitness on the scene. Amy, tell us, what is going on here?
Littlefinger is the bad guy, maybe? And he's a time traveler, and we had to make a decision with him for one of the TV episodes we
Sorry,
watched.
Jack. They forced me to do it.
I know.
Of Jack Joyce.
There's
This
nothing
is
you
a
could have done.
choice I made to get her forced to
Yeah,
confess.
should help you figure out a route.
To speak out against what appears to be
Brad
such a
Zero.
dangerous person.
That's the same area my brother used to have his workshop. I may have to pass through there to get to Paul.
Paul? As in Paul Serene? That's why you're going to the Drydocks.
We have
Check
unfinished
choice.
business. You may want to stay here until I'm done.
I did not think about
Yeah.
that.
I think you're right. I'll open the door for you.
Okay.
Thank
Stay
you.
in contact. Find a radio. I'll be on channel 3. And be careful.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks.
Still no word on Joyce's location. Yeah, heard his brother scream like a bitch when he died. When he shows his face, I'll make him do the same.
Son of a...
Direct fire!
Did I scream enough for you? My powers were unpredictable. They kept growing by leaps and bounds.
It's a pretty cool power. It looks like it just takes them out when you do it, too.
I'm still kicking.
Monarch radio is lighting up. They heard a noise and know you're coming. Be careful out there.
Thanks for the heads up.
I like having time powers. It's pretty swell. If I recall right, this game was ridiculously quiet, right?
Motherfucker.
Turn it up a little bit here. Let me know if it gets too loud at any
Wanna
point.
talk this out? Engage target! Stay clear!
Alright, heavy guys I can't take out just with that effect.
Get clear!
Get to cover.
Swapping mags!
Poor guy.
Close in!
Waiting my cooldown power to charge back up.
Reloading!
I think I can really melee in this game, to my memory. Vision's helpful to see what all I can interact with, though.
Ah, son of a bitch!
Shotgun's pretty great for that, though. Fan of that.
Enemy spotted!
Just chill out. It's fine at the moment. Okay, let me know. It was mostly the dialogue that was an issue before, if I recall. Nice.
Shotgunner moving in!
See if I can find more shotgun ammo here. That'd be nice. Big old butt.
I'm going in! Whoa! Shit!
Nope, so much for that. I was trying to dash out of there. I need to build a better awareness of my cooldowns in this game, I think. That's what gets me in trouble more than anything else. Some games you get a pretty good intuition for how often you can do something. Here I just end up mashing the button until it comes off cooldown. I guess it's one of those situations where that's potentially solvable with a UI element, where if you try to use an ability when it's on cooldown, it pops up and tells you what the cooldown is, so you're not having to keep your attention in two places at once. Thanks, Six Gun.
We got contact.
Bigger issue with the guy that killed me was that he takes too many hits to kill. And I need to be behind cover so he doesn't kill me instantly. So I definitely need to keep that guy frozen, it looks like. The heavies are hard to deal with.
Hostiles here.
Oh, great.
Enemies spotted! Advancing on hostile!
Try it again.
Motherfucker.
You wanna talk this out?
Friendly can't move!
Friendly under fire!
Friendly can't move! Engaging! Move up to the flank!
Okay, that's the best, safest way to kill those guys, I think.
Bag dry! Flank him!
Our dudes are right there.
Fresh mag! Suppressing fire! Suppress him! I'm empty!
Definitely do want to get another shotgun when I'm able to get one. Just got more ammo, so I'll swap that back over here. Will let me. There we go.
Shotgunner advancing on a hostile!
Perfect. That's enough to kill the little guys, not the big guys. Depends on how... Oh, that guy was a big guy. That's a problem. It may have been the guy that killed me last time, I'm not sure.
Still okay out there?
Yeah. Any idea where I go next?
Well, before you said hi, Gatehouse Squad was talking about activating security measures to lock some door on the second floor.
That's a start. Thanks.
Objective indicator. Thanks, game. Appreciate that. I'll try earnestly to make it to the
Looks like a way out.
TV episode.
Now, how do I get it open?
Follow the wire.
Hey, Jack. The husky lady on Monarch Radio seems to be unable to reach Gatehouse Squad. Remember the geared-up soldiers I mentioned who do the teleporty stuff you do?
Yeah.
Apparently, they're intending to say hi back, with a grudge. So
Great.
there's that. They're guarding some kind of chronon particle harvesting operation. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm looking into it. Keep you posted.
Guess I'm not allowed to interact with this thing until... Here we go. Okay, I have to fast forward until the door is open.
Joyce
That's cool.
just took out Gatehouse Squad and you still don't have eyes on him?
Did you hear
What
that,
do they
Ash?
pay you for over there, huh?
Charlie, just tell me where he is.
Do I hear please?
Monarch Concerns. Hey, it's the guy from The Wire. There's two people from The Wire in this show. This game. And John Wick. A lot of freedom to come and go in my position. It comes at a cost of very low clearance. Most members of the team know something I don't, and they're not eager to share.
Hey, I just turned off security.
Uh-oh.
Sweet.
Jack, they're coming your way.
Huh. I don't think this stuff was supposed to load back in behind me, and maybe I can use it to jump over the fence now. That makes sense. These are going to be guys that also have timey-wimey powers, I think. So that's what she was warning me about.
Contact!
I wonder what's the difference. Oh, I guess I put myself in a time bubble? I was confused.
Friendly down! Help! Help! No way! Everybody move!
Shit. Can't fit through there. Hide, let my powers come off cooldown if I can. Yeah, they've got timey-wimey powers too, it looks like. Dashing into guys and shotgunning them feels pretty good. Cool. Yeah, bridge should be open. Oh, dang. That happened outside of my control. This whole thing.
Jack?
This game opens. I broke time.
Yeah.
I did some digging. This Chronon operation is harvesting some kind of fuel. It's used to power a device called the CFR. Ever heard of it?
CFR. No, what is it?
I'm not sure, but it looks like it's at the center of everything Monarch's doing. The thing they stole from the university, this operation, everything's linked to the CFR somehow.
What the hell is Paul up to?
It's a really good question. Chronon containers. Destroy Chronon containers by stacking bullets on them to create a temporary stutter. Huh. Okay, I like that I can see the text in that vision. That's convenient. What pistol do I have right now? So I'll try burst fire.
Open fire! What?
Are you guys able to see me there?
Enemy spotted!
Alright. That doesn't last terribly long, though.
Shotgunner advancing on hostile! He's right here! What? Don't get close!
There's not a lot of feedback that your shots are landing during that, but I think it's on purpose because the shots like build up in the time bubble and then I'll get released at once when the time bubble ends.
Spread out! What the? He's right here! Catch this! Just keep firing! He's running!
Time to move. Gotta find a way out of here.
I'm actually really interested that they even included like shooting mechanics in this game at all, because I think at its heart
No clear
it's
exit down
a
here.
adventure
We have to head
game.
upward.
Like, it's got a lot more in common with a Telltale game, I think, than
There's gotta be something I can use to get up there.
a traditional shooter. Can't get through here. There's no, like, temporal pauses anywhere. Can't get through here either. Don't think it wants me to go back.
Sophia Amaral. Monarch's resident
Right.
Chronon scientist.
Predictively paced. It's a
She
fair
must
way to
know a lot of the
describe
same
it.
stuff Will did.
Yeah, and some games have that problem. Sometimes it's an issue, sometimes not. Like, what was the game? Silent Hill Shattered Memories. It alternated between horror elements and puzzle elements, but you were never in danger when you were doing puzzles. Which it was a really cool game, but it kind of removed any of the tension from those sequences. Alan Wake and Max Payne. I mean, the slow down time stuff, it works pretty well for combat. I do enjoy it.
This resulted in extremely dense emissions of chronon particles, creating the perfect conditions for extraction.
You get up back there. Maybe it's that thing? No, now it's gone. Stand on it and then reverse time, probably.
Oh. Not your average elevator.
That's pretty neat. So I gotta watch more closely for those. Get some Chronon. What do I want to spend it on? Diaries and upgrades. Maybe? If it lets me get there. There we go. I have one upgrade point. What did I already spend on? I think the thing I spent on wasn't actually very good, if I recall. Increase blast radius on Time Blast. Right. I think Ground Zero is a useful name in that case. Maximum focus. Yeah, Time Dodge seems to be the one that I'm... Oh, it costs 4. Holy crap. Alright, well, we won't be unlocking that anytime soon. I'll just hold on to my point for now. I get the cooldown reduced on the dodge, that'd be
About
great.
some kind of private gala Marnik is hosting tonight.
Tonight. After everything that's happened.
It has something to do with their future plans. Serene's delivering a speech, and the guest list has everybody from Monarch higher-ups to big-shot scientists to the mayor of Riverport, which raises the question, why now?
I don't know, but I'm gonna find out.
If Ground Zero just means, you know, the origin point of a disaster. That's fair, given that it's still dangerous to go to and is, like, cordoned off, but...
Okay. Getting closer, I think. Now,
So I'm not
which way's
entirely
the
clear on
Drydocks?
why that Metal Gear Solid 5 prologue is called Ground Zeroes. Probably zero shit. Fucking Kojima, man. Trailer generator crapped
Okay.
itself, hooked up the car, use that until maintenance gets around to this.
I got that briefcase we lifted from William Joyce's car. Laid out the contents in the trailer. You want me to go through them?
No. Serene wants the first look. Till then, hands off.
Hello,
Okay,
Riverport.
looks like the trailer
This
has
is
power
Teresa
now.
Sedmak, filling in for Bobby Radford.
Paul's men had taken the briefcase from Will's car, dumped the contents on the table.
I do like the framing device of him being in like a
Will had said he
police
needed
interview
something
about
from
how
his
he broke
briefcase to stop
time.
the fracture. Wasn't much there, but his phone and a key to the Bradbury
guess
swimming
so.
pool. Not the most obvious clues.
Jack, it's Beth. Monarch just got footage of your lady friend sniffing around some confidential Monarch
She's not my
files.
fuck lady friend,
Kind of a
she's my
big
special
no-no
lady.
around here.
She's trying to help her conceive.
I gotta go back for her.
Don't. I'll pick her up. Where are you?
I'm on my way to Paul at the Drydocks.
Serene's not the priority. I'm getting you out of there. I'll meet you at the Drydocks. Channel 1 is the Monarch frequency. Use it to keep ahead of them. And Jack,
Savage.
don't do anything stupid.
Ah, thanks for the vote of confidence.
This is a really long screenplay. Wow, right on. So another thing I was thinking about, like, if you have audio logs, art objects, or characters interacting with you, do you want there to ever be text that's visible on the screen at the same time as the player is probably listening to an audio log? I think the answer might be no, but that means you have to have a much bigger level in order to intersperse your audio logs, dialogue, and text logs in. Like Deus Ex handled it pretty well, but
Amy,
actually the
you okay out there?
emails in Deus Ex were really short, which I appreciated.
Shit.
They seem to have edited them down to just kind of get the point across. I think it's because of the word zero, this name. Whole zero cipher XOF stuff. Oof.
It's locked. There's gotta be another way to get through here.
Shoot the clearly explosive barrels from here.
Jesus! Close one.
HQ, we just heard an explosion near the harvesting perimeter.
Yeah, take a wild guess who that could have been.
Charlie, get off the line. Striker team, take defensive positions around ground zero.
Roger.
Right, Ash. I used to have to learn to condense my emails down. Especially to, like, bigwigs. I did not want to hear the whole story.
I recognized
Just
Will's
wanted the
workshop as soon
TLDR.
as I saw the old billboard on top.
The area we refer to as Ground Zero.
It was clear that the workshop was at the center of the Monarch operation. I wanted to see what was in there, and it seemed to be the only way to Drydocks.
Take cover! Move round!
HQ, man down, man down! Over!
Cover me! Providing cover! Enemy spot! Everybody move!
Spa! Right.
Backup approaching green zone. Engaging target.
No way! What the? Shit, I'm out! Friendly under fire! You see that?
I It also seems like the number of dudes you're having to deal with is kind of comically large. I love that that's what the cops are interrogating me about, not murdering like hundreds of people. See, the only game I've ever played that has a combat system that feels like it's not used excessively is probably Shenmue 1. But it has a pretty detailed martial arts combat system, but there's like 5 or 6 fights in the whole game where you use it. And it seems like it works in Shenmue. It's not distracting.
Nice driving, guys.
Right. Busted time. Very convenient. That's cool. Oh, is that not actually correct, though? Okay. Thought it was. Oh dear. That's not good.
Paul developed technology for his men to move through stutters. He knew the fracture would occur, prepared for it. Oh, shit. And he never tried to stop it.
He's already dead, I guess. There's a guard there, you wouldn't even bother attacking him, right? Climb up that as slowly as you can there, Jack. Appreciate that. Like that there's a little streak that shows you the direction they popped off to. Can't tell if they're immune to that or just less affected by it.
Will never told you what he did in that workshop at Ground Zero?
No, never.
There is a game that's like that. It's called Brutal Legend.
Nothing prepared me for the weirdness.
Pissed some people off.
And even that was just a prelude to the bad stuff that would follow in that same place later.
I actually never beat Brutal Legend. I was super excited about it. I've followed it for a long time. I like Tim Schafer. I like Metal. I like Jack Black and everybody involved in it. But the like demo and stuff was the opening of the game, which is like a typical action brawler game. And then the rest of the game is an RTS. I'd actually love to try Brutal Legend again on stream, because as soon as I got to the RTS part, I was like, what? That's not what I thought this game was. I'm not good at this. Are you scared the mooks into joining you? Gotcha. I just like the concept of it from a gameplay perspective, that it makes you think, oh, it's this kind of game, and then like 20 minutes in, it completely changes.
That can't be normal. Absolutely no entry. I'm pretty sure that's more of a guideline than a rule.
This is gonna end well.
What the hell?
Oh,
what
cool.
is this?
MGS with the banana gun, right?
What is this? That already happened.
Oh, that's cool.
What the fuck?
We us are doing what we us are doing right now. Alright, Jack. If you're really me, what number am I thinking of? 69, dude! Whoa.
I specifically requested copper-clad niobium.
Well...
Is niobium a real thing?
There's no words to describe it. Will was gone, but he was all around me. This entire secret life he'd never talked about, everything he tried to protect me from, it surrounded me. A puzzle. Trapped in broken time. We all thought he wasted his research grant, his career, obsessing over some failed experiment. That's what he led us to believe.
No, I like We Broke Time. I think that's great. It's a really good hook when you start the game.
It works. It works.
I just think it's funny that he's like explaining that the framing device is he's being interviewed by like the police or the FBI or something. All right, tell us what happened after you broke time.
Extended another year. Please, don't do this.
I guess Annihilation has a very similar framing device. I kind of wish it wasn't in Annihilation, though. I think it makes the story have less tension. It works pretty well in a video game, actually, because you can already kind of, in many cases, count on the protagonist making it, since you're controlling them, because it's not true for every game. It gets subverted in some things, like Call of Duty 4.
Countermeasure.
I hope to God this works.
Will. It's gone.
Paul, come with me. We can survive these.
Littlefinger.
You're the only other one who's seen what I've seen.
Don't.
Give me the device.
What if you're wrong?
Doing an interesting thing there where I was partially not in control of the camera of all that.
Scrambled. It's impossible to crack.
Hey, it's a lore object. Oops.
Huh.
This looks right.
It was overwhelming. Every unanswered question I had was compounded by what I'd seen at that workshop. The events at the university were part of something much bigger. Something that had started 17 years ago.
Yeah, it would wreck his eyes. He doesn't have epilepsy.
Okay, Drydock. Get to the dry dock. I'm almost there. Gotta get to Paul.
Amy Ferraro is in the goddamn security station unsupervised. Trespass alert. All of Monarch's secrets. Guy is like... This was the hacker guy from the beginning of the previous episode. He's a bit too much of a Hollywood stereotype. And again, this show is a lot like Criminal Minds, that kind of police procedural. He fits very well in something like that.
Fuck!
That works.
There was something wrong with Paul. Chronon syndrome. He'd had his powers much longer than me. What was the cause? Was I sick as well, or was it his time travel? I didn't know. It didn't make anything he'd done any less hateful. Yeah.
Jack, you have to understand that Will forced my hand.
What the hell happened to you?
There's no use fighting.
You killed him!
To scan that QR
I'll
code.
explain when the time is right. You'll meet me tonight at the Monarch Gala.
Gala? Time's ending and you're having a fucking party.
Because when time ends, my
We
plan...
do this now. I'm not meeting
Yes,
you at...
you are. I've already seen it happen.
Seen what? What's this all for?
Goodbye, Jack.
No!
Liam Burke status. Yeah, I like this game a lot, but I feel like these logs are unnecessarily wordy. Like they could condense them down quite a bit. Or have less of an action focus, right? It's just kind of a pacing issue. It seems like this game's Metacritic score seems pretty deserved. Like, it's pretty good. It's like 76, 77. It's too bad because it's such a cool idea, and I'd love to see other developers try to pull something like this off. We have like an integrated TV show with aspects of the show changing based on player decisions. It's a really neat idea. Man, there's a powder keg. Pretty sure Burke was the guy from the video. Yeah. The dude with the pregnant wife. Sounds right. I guess logs are not necessarily disruptive to the pacing of the game if you keep them optional like they are in this. Like, I could just choose not to pick them up or choose not to read them. Jack Joyce or Liam Burke. Pretty good. Jack Joyce. The black car. Okay. Charlie's a really annoying character. Pick my gun, it looks like. Whoa. A high D.
Sir.
Paul. Stop! Come back, goddammit!
Don't.
Ah!
I wonder if they got him more for Littlefinger or Tommy Carcetti. That's his Wire character, right? I actually saw him on Game of Thrones before I watched The Wire. Yeah. Wire, I think a lot of people will say it's the greatest TV show ever made. It's probably true.
Holy shit!
Really, really, really solid.
Gotta move. Come on!
To the extent that you can call anything the greatest, as we've talked about many times. You can't really. It really seems like that's where it wants me to go, with the yellow. Yeah. Can't crouch, can I? Can't time dash through it. Can't time hit it.
Okay. Focus, Jack. Focus.
You sound like a Jedi. I feel like time is time. Whether a big thing fell down or a little thing fell down. Like, he doesn't have to work extra hard to lift an X-Wing out of a swamp. Oh, shit. Okay, that was a puzzle. Gotcha. Womp womp. Breaking Bad's pretty high up there as far as, like, best shows ever.
Okay. Focus, Jack. Focus.
I gotta dash through this right away. Can't quantum break crawl.
Stutters were getting bad. He's shifting back and forth without warning. At the time, I didn't think it could get much worse.
But we both know it did.
That's gotta hurt.
Pretty cool for level design. Looks like I always have to use the dash to get through these. So the stutters are a neat idea for a dungeon, which is basically what this is. So at this point, we're far enough that we're definitely not going to make it to the episode.
Focus.
With time to watch it and for that really to make schedule sense. So I think what happens is if we make it to the episode, we'll end early and switch to Divinity Original Sin. And I'll just add the extra time to Ludefex's Bank. We'll see. Fortunately, both Divinity Original Sin and Owlboy, I don't think their subs are able to tune in, so it doesn't really matter if we play them early.
He's shifting back and forth without warning. At the time, I didn't think it could get much worse.
But we both know it did.
That's gotta hurt.
There we go. Yeah, I was gonna say. Quantum Break is a pretty cool game. It stops the time and doesn't afraid of Littlefinger. I think that's my favorite one. Halo is a pretty cool guy. Hey, Ludefex, what's groovin'? How you doing?
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
This is a very clever way to do the level design, I think. I don't think I've seen too many time travel games that'll use that for what are basically modern day dungeon traps. Like this big metal thing falling apart is essentially being in Sen's Fortress. But it actually makes sense in a modern setting. Very cool. Yeah, I agree.
Jesus! Cutting a little close, Jack. It's like a goddamn maze in here.
Come on. Oh, come on. Serious about this? There you go. Good job, Jack. We're all very proud of you.
Okay, keep going.
Time-stopping powers are very impressive. You must be very proud.
Move.
More of these jerks.
Okay, there we go. Gotta move.
Now we got guys we gotta focus down first. Sure. Oh yeah, I saw the screenplay. Was it are you guys talking about something in Hyde? Jack Savage or something? It's pretty funny. They are basically time cops. I work for Monarch Industries. And there's a comical number of them because it's a video game and it needs to have things to do. Shoot him in the time backpack seems to help a lot. It's a really good question, this name.
I expected she was frozen somewhere up there, by the side of the dry dock.
It's like, the plot is that they're trying to keep you alive, but for video game reasons, you still need to be fighting stuff for it to be interesting. It just happened in, what game are we playing? Oh, Ground Zeroes, Metal Gear Solid 5. Like, appears to be that pause is a trap, and that they anticipate you catching her so that they can assassinate you, but then they work very hard to stop you from catching her. I think they just let you waltz in. Right, Ash. No, I think
My
that
exact words were "Don't do anything stupid."
I've never been a great listener.
Well, time to start.
Uncharted is like the archetypical example of
What if I don't trust you?
Then shoot me.
ludonarrative dissonance.
Look, I'm sorry, but I'm taking.
Yeah, ludonarrative.
That's for not listening to me back there.
Ow.
Just hit me in the nose with
You
the
want
back
to
of your
stop time
gun.
from breaking down? You need my help. And thanks, by the way, for the +1 in the back seat. Starting to feel like goddamn babysitter.
Babysitter? You kidding me? I got good intel off that computer. Bitch.
My ride, my music.
Hey, it's Africa.
Deal with it.
Totally gonna get me a copyright strike.
Who the fuck are you people?
Won't be a strike, it'll just get claimed. Cool. So we will not watch the video now because it would take us over time. LootEffects, I'm just gonna credit your bank by about 10 minutes, and then next time we play Quantum Break, we'll watch the whole thing, and you'll have an extra 10 minutes if that works. Modifying the music. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't mind. I'm not getting any ad revenue. I'm not even a YouTube partner anymore. They revoked it. I have to get to 1,000 subscribers, I think. I have the watch time, not the subs. Start singing.
What led
Oh, we
you
might
to
have a
the
little bit of time
swimming
before
hall?
that.
Oh, Will said there was something important in his briefcase. All I found was a key with Bradbury swimming hall on the chain. Only lead we had.
I guess this is it.
This building's been shut down for years.
Perfect place to hide something you don't want found.
Yeah, I don't mind copyright flags. I don't think I'd ever turn that off in a game if it's part of the original
I think
work.
it's time you tell me what you know.
I know your brother built the one thing that could stop the fracture. I know we're meant to find it, and I know Monarch doesn't want us to.
And yet you're wearing their uniform.
I like the way their pants fit.
Yeah? I bet you like the paycheck, too.
Yes, I am, Leon.
Had to create a cover to gather information. You've known about this for a few hours. I've been preparing for it for most of my life.
You weren't aware that William owned the place?
There's a lot I didn't know about Will.
We need to find your brother.
Never mind, I thought there was going to be a TV episode.
Fast.
Might be at the end of
Things
Act
will get
2.
worse as the fracture progresses.
We'll probably be able to do the
Monarch
TV
will be
episode
turning
next
the report
episode.
over
Next time we play this on stream, either way.
This is weird. Huh. I could swear this is the same cab I was in when I came to the university.
It's a taxi. They all look the same, don't they? I'll check the license plate on my phone and see if anything comes up, but, I mean, it's a long shot.
Cat's working extra tonight. He's doing some overtime, but we're going to go shopping and get everything tomorrow morning before stream. Should have plenty of time.
You okay?
I just checked the news reports, and Monarch is being heralded as a hero. No, I'm not okay. Because if I had just refused to make that confession...
Then you'd be dead. Somebody else would have done it.
Doesn't make it easier.
It was technically a choice that I made. I guess Amy wouldn't be alive in the other timeline.
Key doesn't fit.
Choice fits so well into a time travel based game. I don't know if this game's ever going to take advantage of it.
Any ideas how to get inside?
The whole building's falling apart. There's got to be an opening somewhere.
Okay.
Can you find a way in, Jack? We shouldn't stay out here.
Working on it. Surround makes the stream different. There's a lot of things in games that only work with headphones, I think. Like, I've been playing Dark Souls recently with no distractions, and like that game is so much easier to play when you're just exploring areas if you have headphones on and you can listen for the sounds of enemies around corners. They want me to go the other way, but this looks like the only thing I can grab onto. Yeah, that's a ticket. Hey there, if you're new to the channel, I'm Marstead. I'm trying to beat every awesome game ever made. I believe there's so many awesome games out there, it's impossible for any one person to play them all. That means that we will never run out. But to see a list of all the games we've played so far, if you go to games.marstead.com, you can find links to YouTube playlists for every game we've ever played on stream. You can even vote for the next awesome game if you click on that Vote Status tab at the top of... Sorry, I'm confused by the voice actor. Click on the Vote Status tab at the bottom of the games.marstead.com link, and you can see a list of all the games on the sheet and commands and instructions to vote in chat. If you're just lurking or hanging out, welcome. It's good to have you. Get through here.
It's not possible. I've been monitoring Monarch activity this whole time.
You don't really need the surround sound watching a stream, yeah.
Damn it. These stutters aren't going away.
Yes?
You might have the television use the headphone jack in that. I have a really janky aux setup. For the longest time, I was getting this interference in the aux cables.
Will had used the building to hide away his personal items. $12,000 moving bill. He must have hauled a lot more to this place than just some old boxes.
Some of y'all might remember a long time ago we stopped playing Driver San Francisco when we went to boot it because I was having sudden audio issues with the PS3. It wasn't the PS3, it was that my monitor has the power cable directly next to the aux port, and eventually the shielding on the power cable got bad, and it was sending noise into the aux cable. So it only mattered for games where I was getting the audio from the monitor.
1999? Why didn't you tell me, Will?
Will kept a lot of secrets, it looks like.
No wonder you were always coming up with crazy shit.
ASMR. Sounds like they're finally breaking ASMR into its own category. They recently announced with Tag seems like a really good idea, and the way they've split out creative seems like a really good idea as well.
Hello, Riverport. Teresa
ASMR.
here, filling in for Bobby Radford, about to brighten your day with some good news.
What setting are the ASMR from? Is it just D&D? They like the angel people? Not all the way angel, but kind of angel-y. Like a tiefling, but...
Any luck in there?
Working on it.
All right, let's take a look around. Down here.
Nice work.
Hey, half Celestials.
This note. It's directed at me.
July 4th,
Will.
2010. Beth Wilder, I'm addressing this video to you. You told me to stay away from my workshop, but I couldn't just leave it there. I went back to get it, and the entire place is a disaster zone. The countermeasure, gone. Taken. Shit.
What the...
The safe, empty. I just need to know you have it, because if it falls into the wrong hands, its power is immeasurable.
Is that Huckleberry Fairy Follow Me?
Our entire lives depend on
I never remember. The main character's
This
Iceman.
can't all be for nothing. You know where to find me.
ASMR.
Please, hurry.
2010.
Oh, cool.
Holy shit.
That's awesome.
What was that?
He recorded that for me in 2010? What the fuck? He said the countermeasure's gone? It's not good. We need to figure this out. Let's keep looking.
Thank you. Huckleberry Fairy. Follow me.
Help me push this out of the way.
And do, friendo.
Jack, your brother addressed that video to me, but I've never met him before in my life.
Well, it sounded like he thought you had his countermeasure.
I wish.
Yeah, he recorded an
He said
actual
it was stolen on
VHS.
July 4th, 2010. Somebody took it.
It would make more sense if it was like 1990. Maybe they didn't want him to go that far back.
But I'm hoping this place will help us figure out who. I'll give you the honor of pressing the button.
Thank you. Mole from the dark sun setting, half dwarves and are unable to reproduce. How does that work?
Yeah, I think so.
Are they like mules? So you can
It's like
have
a time
other
machine.
half dwarves.
This changes everything. If we can get this thing working, then we don't need that countermeasure. We can change everything. What if we stop the fracture from ever happening in the first place? We can go back to yesterday, undo everything in the past before it happens. Nobody dies. Paul doesn't go through the machine. Monarch never exists. I mean, the fracture never occurs.
Jack, wait. Let's think this through. That's not how it...
I can go into the machine like Paul did at the university. I helped them set it up. Then we activate the core, put the corridor in place, and set the date. I can do it, Beth.
I'm not so sure we could do this without the countermeasure. But you're right. We'll need the machine.
Right. Let's start with the core.
Explanation? Anybody?
Nope.
I saw some kind of visions of this machine in his workshop. You must have hid it here.
Feel free to fill me in. Anytime now.
It's a cool concept, Johan.
Okay.
I feel like there's a lot of
Where are they?
fantasy races that are basically reduced to, I want to play an orc, but I don't really want to play an orc. I want to play a good orc that's basically human but has some orc-like qualities. Lots of races are basically that. But that sounds like that's different enough that it has its own like socio-political issues. You get some cool like Krogan kind of stuff in there. Not being able to reproduce. Why is he talking to Beth? Doesn't know her. The Dark Sun is like the super brutal, post-apocalyptic. You are tracking food and drink because your character's probably starving and dying of thirst. Halflings are cannibals. It's cool. Physicist on the rise. I think I listened to back when the Penny Arcade guys were doing a regular D&D podcast. I don't know if they're still doing that. They had a couple that Jerry was running in a Dark Sun setting that were really cool. And that brings us to time. Thanks, folks. I will take a few minutes here to swap to the next game, which is Divinity Original Sin. And after that, it's Owlboy. We'll see. I'll probably take a break before we play La Mulana 2, but I might see what Andrea's doing if she's awake at the end of Owlboy. I might just swap right to it. Let's see. Perfect loot effects. That sounds like perfect timing then.